Hi, Dr. Veronica here. I am always fascinated watching other people's lives play out. And recently we've got a inside view to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess life on the Oprah interview. And studying myself, human design, and I love to do connections, especially connection charts. As I'm watching the interview, I ran a connection chart, and there's information in human design that allows us to understand how they're coming together and why things are playing out the way they're playing out. So in this video, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what's seen through human design and let you understand a little bit. Now, one of the things to think about is anybody that's a celebrity that we know, that we see, that's on a national and international stage is one of our spiritual teachers. These two are spiritual teachers for us. We are all connected, and how we feel about someone and when we're observing them is really a mirror into what we can learn. So people who have come into the world and souls that have come together and end up in the spotlight are all there for us to learn as well as them to learn. So I'm going to share with you their connection charts in human design. It's this beautiful system that puts together a lot of different energies, the I Ching, Kabbalah, astrology, quantum physics, neutrinos, as well as chakras, among other things, and is your spiritual DNA. So you have physical DNA, and that physical DNA you are born with, but same way you have a spiritual DNA that's inherited and we're born with. And on other videos at some other time, I'll talk about a little bit the individuals, but I want to show the connection chart just because we had the opportunity through Oprah, and Oprah has some unique qualities that make her a perfect partner for these two, but we can focus on that in a unit chart at another time. So I'm going to share my screen and show you Meghan and Harry. And what you're looking at right now is the connection chart of Meghan and Harry. On the left side, you're seeing Harry's human design chart. On the right side, you're seeing Meghan's human design chart. And in the middle is when you put the two together, what happens? And whenever we're all connected to each other, but when you're in a partnership with someone, and a partnership can be a romantic partnership, it could be a parent-child, it could be colleagues at work, it could be business partnerships also. When you're in a partnership with someone, you're going to have what you might call synergies and other things that just are hard to work with. Now, when I work with my clients and these human design plus my intuitive skills that I bring in what's happening here and now and what your energy's showing, the goal is to figure out how to help you thrive. So me showing you this chart, I'm going to show you some basic understanding of what's making them strong at this time, areas that are probably a challenge and why they had to do things the way they did, and then some areas for healing. Another time, I want to put together Harry and his father so we can figure out how Harry and his father can heal based on their designs. So one of the things, I'm not going to go really into the background totally of all these different areas. So you're going to have a little bit of knowledge about this, but I'll explain as much in layman terms as I can. So you see centers, there's colors on this, excuse me, that are defined. And when you see those centers, there's 9 of them that are not colored in. Those are considered what are called undefined. So you'll notice on the composite, when you put them both together, they go from, Meghan has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 undefined centers and 4 defined centers. So, and Harry, same thing, has one, two, three, four, five defined centers and four undefined centers. So when you put them together, they go to having seven, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven defined centers. And so all of a sudden you can see um, what makes them stronger. Now I'll show you one piece that's not on any of either of their charts that when they come together they have is this pink triangle called the will center, and it's just like what it sounds like. It gives you the will. So neither Harry nor Meghan have the will necessarily on their own, but when they come together they have this powerful center that gives them the will together. So that's what's making this such a magnetic relationship, in that they give each other the will when they work together. And that is a beautiful thing if they have that will. On the other side, there are areas of challenge in both of them that when they come together, those areas of challenge still exist. One is they both have undefined roots, and people with undefined roots can really have difficulty dealing with a lot of stress. And so Harry has an undefined root, Meghan has an undefined root. They're good when they're separate and things are going smoothly, status quo. But when something happens and stress is introduced, they could have a really hard time as individuals dealing with the stress. But when they come together, the root is still undefined. And so as a couple, it's challenging for them to deal with the outside stress. So if you listen to the interview, and they talked about what was going on in their life after their marriage when they were living in the UK. There was an immense amount of stress for both of them. Both of them were having individual difficulty dealing with the stresses, and they were having collective difficulties dealing with the stresses. And yet together, because they have the will center, they were able to come together and decide what they needed to do and implement it very rapidly, what seemed like at light speed for the rest of us. Because when you have a will center and you decide what to do, it's almost like lightning speed, you can make it happen. So that's why they were able to, what seemed like to the rest of us hasty, to them it seemed like it was slow, because when they decided they wanted to do it, it was like, how fast can we do it? They both also have these undefined heads. And when they come together, they still have undefined heads. What is it about the undefined head? Ideas are coming in from all over the place and bombarding them. You're getting the energy from what's around you in the undefined head. And so is it their ideas, their other ideas? So what was happening also, a lot of times with the undefined head, sometimes it just makes you feel crazy. It makes you feel crazy because there's so much of other people's energy coming into you that you're having a hard time figuring out what's you, what's other people, and what do we do. So apart, they both have undefined heads. So they have all this stuff bombarding them, and together their head is still undefined. Now you might say, oh gosh, that's a bad thing. Well, no, it's a good thing, because when they change their energetic environment, all of a sudden you see, woo, they have all these ideas coming in. And because of their will center, they're able to implement them quickly, easily, and draw into them the right people, places, and things to have their dreams come true. So this is just a little bit about human design and connections, just to let you know. Harry is what's called a manifesting generator, and Meghan is a generator. If you don't know what that is, we can talk about that at another time. There are 5 types. They have 2 of these types. And let me just tell you something that's fascinating. We can do a unit chart at another time. When you add in Archie as their child, all of a sudden, Archie brings in to their relationship a defined root. And what does that mean? With Meghan, Harry, and Archie, all of a sudden, they have more grounding. And so Archie is really, and Archie is a manifesting generator. He's putting them to, he's has the ability to initiate and speak. And it's just the child is like a magic force in the life of a parent's, even though he's still just a toddler, because he brings in that energy of grounding. So one thing that you've seen since Archie has been brought into the situation is how happy and comfortable it makes Harry and Meghan feel. So that's a little bit all for now. I'm going to make some other videos going along, and we'll figure out what's going on with Harry and Meghan. But if you're interested in human design, you want to get your own chart done, that's where you start. You start by knowing yourself, and Harry and Meghan, knowing themselves, are going to be able to just soar because they're going to understand themselves more, each other more, and have the tools based on their own unique design to be able to make the relationship go where they want it to go intentionally. That's what this is all about. So I'm Dr. Veronica. Thanks so much for listening. I'll talk to you later.